Welcome to the Atelier Artisan Demo Rate Train. How is everyone doing today? All right, we got this. Hello, hello. It's a day, y'all. Buttons. My phone is acting crazy. It's crooked. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Kimberly. How are you? We're going to be playing with some jelly prints today. Yeah, it just occurred to me I forgot to grab my coffee. Eh, Judy, I'm telling you, we tried so hard to get it to go on last night and it wouldn't. And now today I didn't try and it is. So I don't know. What not in YouTube are not liking each other right now, I guess. It's okay. At least this will be there and we have a jelly print demo on there. So that's a good thing, right? Um, no problem, Judy. Hi, Wendy. How are you today? Ruby, welcome. Did I miss anybody popping in? Katie, we're on YouTube. I don't even understand it. It's a whole situation, y'all. Robin, thank you so very much for the raid, my love. I appreciate you. Um, Welcome to the Atelier Artisan Demo Raid Train, hosted by our very lovely daydreamer, Debbie. Debbie, thank you so much for always doing this and including the handmade community. You need jelly print. Judy needs jelly print therapy, so we're going to do some jelly print therapy. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Welcome, everyone. I'm not going to take the time to go through and welcome you all. You all know I love you and I welcome you. And we're just going to play with some paint. This could be interesting. Let's go. Somebody asked me a question. I did an impromptu demo on my raid train last week because we had a situation. And somebody asked the question, can you use fake flowers on your jelly print? And I said, absolutely. And so I grabbed just some little picks and I thought we would play with that today. If it fails miserably because these are really inexpensive and they don't have a lot of texture, we're going to go back to the real plants. So I have backup upon backup and we're going to play. So before we start, I want to say, if you are new to this, this is a jelly plate. Jelly Arts is one brand and Gel Press is another. They are both equally good, whichever you can find and whichever you can afford. The second thing that you need is a brayer. As you can see, I am not even, what are you gonna say? Debbie, what did I do wrong? You still don't have one. Okay. When's your birthday, Debbie? Watch. When's Debbie's birthday? Watch this. February 11th, a long ass time away. I'm writing it down though. We're gonna have chats about this, miss. Okay. Whimsical Birdie, hello, my sweet. How are you? Alonda, welcome. Anyway, back to obviously, I'm not a big fan of cleaning my things. I just I use them for jelly prints, so I leave the paint on them. My jelly plate is a hot mess. We will see that shortly when I open the package. there's this. Another thing that you're going to obviously need is some acrylic paints. The brand does not matter. You can use your regular craft paints. I would not suggest using the paints from the $1.25 tree. I purchased them to try it and they failed miserably. I struggled to work with them, so if you are new to jelly printing, I would not suggest trying that for your first time. Another thing that I always have is I have this old book. It was fallen apart. It was a library discard, and I painted it so I can't use it. Um, and I use it to roll off my excess paint. It works double. I have book pages to use in my junk journals and in my collages, but I can also flip and find a colorway that I want so I have some painted words. So this is just a way to not waste your paint. Not necessary. You can just use an extra piece of paper to roll off. So without further ado, my friends, we are going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. I went to turn my device on. I've lost you guys. And my regular phone that I normally stream with is dead. So we're making do with this one. I plugged it in, I swear I did, but it was obviously backwards. So another thing that you can use for your jelly, I'm going to actually start over again. I'm going to take this out of the package. When you first get your jelly plate, it comes in this nice handy dandy, probably plastic carrying case. You need to keep this for storage. It keeps your plate contained and there. So we can see what we did last time. It comes with two hard plastic. I leave my back one on just to give it some stability. I'm going to move up a little bit so we have a little bit more room here. So I took off the top one. I kept the bottom one, and there's my jelly plate. You can. The Vintage Daisy Shop. Hello. Amber. Hi, babe. If I missed you, I apologize. My normal device that I watch chat is what we're streaming with, so this could be interesting. Here we go, my friends. It's a mess. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I am going to start off. I am using a 9x12 plate, so I am going to be using a bit more paint than you would use if you have one of the 8x10s. It it is totally up to you. Oh, I did forget something really important. You need papers. You need papers, my friends. Um, Regular copy paper works, envelopes, old printables, um, old stationery, book pages, magazine pages, grid paper, really anything, junk mail, all these things you can print paint on. I will say that I prefer when I'm doing my pages for my books, I prefer to use the more inexpensive um, copy paper just because I'm making pages. Another thing that is really awesome to use is deli paper. You want to try and make sure not to get the waxed deli paper. You tissue paper sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So it's a situation of you play with what you have and do the best you can do. Okay. I am going to turn that fan off because it is blowing stuff everywhere. I always like to use botanicals just because that's who I am. You could actually use um, old laces, anything that's going to leave a pattern. It You'll see what I mean. I'm just going to start out with a little bit of paint here, maybe. Oh, that's not good, damn. I just popped the lid off. How do I do this? How do you even do this? Immediate fail. I'm just going to set that aside right now. Why? Little dabs of paint, okay? You don't want to get too much. One of the biggest mistakes of gel printing is people use too much paint, okay? I'm just going to set that aside. I'm going to take my brayer and just spread this paint. You want a very thin layer. I go back and forth, and sometimes it takes a minute to get your plate going, especially when you leave it a hot mess like I do. I can take this excess paint and off to the side, I am going to be rolling that off into my book so it's not wasted. The thrifted thread you did not know about jelly art. You are well on your way to being horribly corrupted. Welcome. I'm just going to use, what am I going to use? I have too much stuff beside me and too many choices. And this is the thing that I say, don't do too many choices. I'm laying this stencil down, okay, over the top of that paint. I'm taking a clean piece of paper, I'm going to lay it down, and I'm just going to burnish this into, because what I'm trying to do is pick up this paint. I'm using my fingers to push down in all the grooves. I want to pick up as much as I can, but I'm also holding it steady so it doesn't slide, okay? So this is what I've picked up from that stencil, but I've left this lacy floral pattern on my plate, okay? Now, I'm in Arizona. It is 100, oh my gosh, degrees here. So my paint's going to dry a lot faster than, say, if you're in Florida where it's very humid. The premises beside, I know it's icky today. The premises behind this is you do a layer of paint, you let it dry. You do another layer of paint and put another texture and let it dry. And then you do another layer, which reactivates all the paint, and then you pull everything. You play with your layers, you get to learn your layers. Um, it's honestly, it's fun to play with, but you can't really control it. I told you, welcome to my corruption. Much love. Um, you can do photo transfers on here. There's the possibilities of a jelly plate are almost endless, okay? Um, I always demo just the basics because so many people are new to it. We have literally discussed um, doing like an advanced jelly printing, but I still haven't gotten that done because I'm a busy lady. So we'll see. You know what I mean? It's like, oh gosh. So let's just do something really crazy random that is going to let this show through. We're just going to do some circles. As you can see, I don't clean my stencils either. So we have this nice cream. It's pretty dry. I know I'm going to shock the ever living you know what out of all of my people right now. I'm going to use pink. So we're going to do this light pink. I swore I was going to do something besides green today and Payne's gray. I know. It's right beside me. Never fear. We'll get there. Devil's pink. I don't do pink, guys. I really don't do pink at all. So we're going to spread this over just a very, and if you can see how translucent this is, how little paint I'm using, you can literally see that pattern through it. I'm spreading it evenly. I'm going to lay some circles down and I'm going to pull some circles. Again, I'm using my fingers to burnish those out. I know, you guys, I do love you. I actually have a hot pink too. I'm not kidding. I have hot pink. Are you impressed? So I'm just burnishing. I know, right? Pink is just so not my color. Brown. Dirty pink. Oh, well, it's getting ready to get dirty right here, babe. I know, right? Here's the thing, Debbie. I'm going to tell you this demo for you every month. I say I'm going to do something different, and I never end up doing anything different because it's always last minute. And so here we are again doing jelly prints. And I'm like, these people have got to be absolutely sick and tired of watching me do Payne's gray, green gray, burnt sienna. Happy Heart, thank you so very much for the raid. Y'all, if you are not following Happy Heart, she sells amazing check beads that are absolutely beautiful. If you have never met her or are not following her, please do so. She is also a very talented creator and has actually been on this train, or my train at least, um, doing demos. So please give her a follow. And I will throw in a giveaway. I have a giveaway. I have a raid train giveaway. So we'll do one. I have for my giveaways today, if I can get to it. Gracious me, oh my. These adorable vintage note cards. They're blank inside. You can actually use them in your journals. They come with the envelope. You can reuse them, or you could obviously chop them up. This is going to be our giveaway in honor of Betsy. So everybody jump in there. Okay, now I've babbled enough and this is dry. We're doing jelly prints. Hello, welcome if you're new to me. I'm Tam and I do all kinds of crazy creative things on this app. So, like I said, this is dry. We have 2 layers. We started with the cream, we went to the light pink. Now I'm going to put a 3rd layer that is going to activate all of this paint, and we're going to pull the whole thing. And then, my loves, we're going to be done with pink because you. So I'm just going to put down, this is a quinacridone magenta, and it is a very translucent paint. Good Lord. Everywhere. I'm going to be pink, you guys. I'm going to just brayer that out. And I want to get it very evenly spread because I want to get all of this pink off of my plate. Gosh, that's bright pink, guys. I'm reaching out, I'm doing different things, and I'm making my girls happy. So once you do that, I'm going to lay my sheet. Now, I want to burnish the whole thing. Candy Love, hello and welcome. Thank you. I've been told that a time or two. Some people just turn my shows on just so they can like let me lull them to sleep. So I'm burnishing the whole thing. I can feel it getting cool. I don't know how to explain it. I could leave this to dry if I want to and pull it, but for demo's sake, we're just going to do it. I'm holding this steady and I'm grabbing, get out of the way. The giveaway is in the way right here. I'm pulling this up to make sure that it pulled, and it did. So I am just pulling this up. It's, oh, thank heavens, it has some green on it from my last one. It's a whole situation, my dears. So this is what we just created, okay? You can see the first layer of the cream. There's very little, you can see the circles of the light pink, and then the hot pink comes through. So what I've just created is a amazing background. I can stamp on it. I can use this as a book page in my journal. I can use it for collage. There's so many things you can do with these. I know it's pink. Do you love the rebellious splash of green down the center? Because only I could accidentally do that, right? So let's set this aside. There's still some pink on here. So there is that. There's still some pink on my brayer because I did not brayer that off. So let's see what else we have that's going to go with that. I know we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Green. Why are my paints all stuck together? Green and pink are good. We're going to work our way into my Payne's gray. We're going to get there. So this is one of my favorite greens. It is green gray by Liquitex. There's about 45 seconds left in the giveaway. If you would like this vintage note card, please jump in there. Thank you all for the new follows. I appreciate it. And we're just going to get some paint down. So because I did what I did and I didn't clean this, some of this pink may mix in. That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. We're going to have a situation with some plants over here. So one of my favorite things to play with is plants. We all know this. Let's do it this way. I am, again, taking my old book and I'm just getting that excess paint off. Kristen, congratulations. Isn't that like the third giveaway you've won today? That's craziness. Nice. So we have our green down. Let's do this. We're going to see how my plants are working. I'm going to do them kind of sideways. So if I decide that I want to use these in a book page, it's okay. Bada bing. I'm gonna put these little excess leaves up here because that's a lot of empty space there. So this is a plant from my garden. It is called horehound, and if you are older, you remember the old horehound cough drops that our grandparents and parents gave us. This is the actual plant that it is made out of. So when I do plants, I do a lot more burnishing. You can see there where that stem is. I want to make sure that I have that really well burnished. So I get all of those patterns from those natural plants in my page or on my page and on my plate. Um, you can hold this and you can pull the edge and test and make sure that you got in all of these little grooves. And if you didn't, you can just go back and just kind of push down. Okay. I think we got most of them. So this is what we get. That is the outline of the horehound. Has some of that pink coming through because again, I don't clean my plate. It's a whole situation. So we're going to set this aside and we are going to carefully pull our plants off of our plate. And you can see, literally see the veins. That leaf broke. It lived its last life for us. You can see the veins of the plant. Now, these are actually the leaves from the last demo I did because my horehound plants are very unhappy right now. And I didn't want to have a hot mess on my hands, but I got one anyway. So here we go. So you can literally see the veins of those plants. So awesome. We have some of that pink in there, which is also very awesome. So what do we do now? Well, let's do a little fun. We are going to take, we're going to use the light blue. Now, we're under the impression that we're going to use this as a page in a book. So this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bottom. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to take some of this blue. Ooh, that was a lot of blue. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to put some of this neutral gray. So what I'm going to do is kind of give this ombre effect. And for the bottom, we're going to do a little bit of this green deep. This is a little bit more than we normally do. It's okay. You can be really particular about this and you can do this, clean your brayer, do this, clean your brayer, do this. I like to just naturally kind of blend those colors. So I have my top all blended. So I'm going to blend in this gray. There's a plant on here. It's making weird marks. There we go. And then I'm going to scooch down into this green at my bottom of my page. And then I'm just going to go over it. Now, I obviously have way, 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 way too much paint. This is not going to do well. So what I'm going to do, because I have this cool ombre on my brayer, this limited camera is like, holy moly, guys. Don't drop on the floor. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to brayer this off on just a plain piece of paper because I think it looks really cool. So by getting some of that paint off, what I'm going to do is go back to my plate and I'm going to spread this a little more. But you see, I'm picking up more of that paint. So when I go to pull this, I'm not going to have too much paint on there. If I'm going to brayer this off on the other side of this page, just so it matches. So this in itself is a fun background, right? Okay, so we have this all down. We're going to take a clean paper. We're going to lay it down. Again, we're going to burnish the whole thing, making sure to catch all the edges. I can feel it cooling down. When I feel it cooling down, I know that that paint is soaking into my paper. It starts to kind of wrinkle a little bit. Now the moisture's really getting into that paper. So I know that it's probably going to be okay to pull this. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hard, but you can see how it's kind of wrinkling up. It feels cool to the touch, okay? I'm going to hold this so it doesn't move, and I'm going to pull the edge and see if we got it. And we did. Na, na, na. That's an interesting one. So we have that faint outline of our plants. So what this tells me is I needed to use a more contrasting color for my plants because the blue, I started out with this green, it blended in. Okay. So it's just something to play with, to think about. And this is a very subtle, oh my gosh, there's plants, there's pinks. You can see the plant. It's not bad, but it's not good. Is she going to fight with that? No, we're going to see if we have a different one because I don't want to fight with that and get. Um, Okay, this is a lighter color. I don't want to play with that one that I popped the top off of because I'm scared I'll like spew paint everywhere. So we're going to do the same concept, but I'm using an unbleached titanium. And we're going to see how this goes. So spreading my paint out. Getting it all spread. I'm going to get this paint off. That's a lot of paint that I just threw down there. Now this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our plants again. Same plants. Same hot mess. Another sheet of paper. Lay it down. And again, we're going to really burnish those stems and leaves and make sure we get that pattern in there really well. Okay. Making sure I got the stems, I got the leaves. I can see, and I don't know how much you can see on camera, but I can literally see the outline of the leaves as I'm burnishing. I can feel where they're at. So we have this really great pattern, okay? You can see them a little bit. Yeah, it's craziness. So again, I'm going to hold this. I'm going to pull this back. We missed this corner up here. I missed this corner. We did not. Y'all are no part of my mess ups. And you can push down if you've missed some of those as you're pulling. I think we got this pretty well. We did. So there is the unbleached titanium. Okay. Again, we're going to pull carefully our leaves up because our leaves are old and are not happy with me because they're from a week ago. I think that's about the last, maybe one more we'll get out of this. We'll see. So typically the fun thing about using your plant matter is if you get paint on both sides, you preserve them and they're not going to fall apart like that. I did not. So remember this one that we lost our leaves. We used the blue. We used a little bit of gray and some green. I'm not liking how this green works, so I'm just going to use the blue and the gray and see what we come up with, okay? So I'm going to throw some blue down. Some gray. Welcome in, everybody. I see names flying by. That's dry. Again, make sure that these are dry. I'm in Arizona, so they dry almost immediately. Yours may not dry so well, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. I'm going to blend these out, the blue and the gray. Make sure we have a good blend. I'm going to take a clean piece of paper. I'm going to lay it down. Again, we're going to burnish the whole thing. Can I use the paper I just laid on the unbleached titanium if it is dry and lay it down again? Absolutely, Kristen. Good question. You can layer your prints. You can layer your colors. Um, it you can absolutely, as long as they dry. Sometimes I'm really bad about letting them dry and they look kind of funky. But yes, you can layer them. Like this paper that I just rolled off, I can actually print plants on top of this, which we're going to do in a minute. JW, welcome. We are going to be raiding into you, my friend. How are you today? So we have this all burnished down. Ready? I'm going to grab and see if it pulled. It did. So this is what we have. So see the difference of the color that I started with, how much of a difference that makes. This one is kind of muted and gone. This one, because I have contrasting colors, you can literally see the veins in that plant. So I wanted you to see the differences. Color choice matters. The layer in which you put the colors really matters. And it's something that you will learn a preference. I've demoed before where I did a dark, medium, and light color. And then I did the exact same thing, light, medium to dark with the same colors, and you get a totally different look. And that is the fun of jelly printing because you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. It's just there. I know it sounds crazy that it's that simple, but it really is. Just play with it. It's only paper, my friends. If you're worried about using up your paper, get some of that junk mail that comes in that you pitch in the bin and use that junk mail to practice on. So I still have some gray on here, which is okay. Not too worried about it. We're going to test something because I said we can do it. And I don't know if we can, but we're going to try really hard. Down. Should probably position them a little better than that, but you know what? We're going to roll with it. These are just cheap, and I do mean cheap, silk flowers. Cheap, cheap. I'm going to grab some tissue. This is some deli paper, and I'm just going to push down and see what we get. Okay. It may be ugly, it may be pretty, who knows, but we're going to try because that is the fun of having this is just playing. Okay. This is about getting your hands dirty. This is about experimenting with colors and patterns and what looks better with what and all of those things. And you can actually see how I'm pushing down on the stems, I'm pushing down on the leaves, all the things right now, just to try to get as much of that pattern as possible. This is a whole big mess over here, but that's okay. So we're going to pull this up. If nothing else, we got a cool outline there with lots of paint on it. We're going to pull this. Okay, well, there's that. We're going to let that dry because I got a lot of paint on it. A whole lot of paint. I'm going to set this aside to dry somewheres up here. Okay. All of this yellow paint. I'm going to fill this yellow paint. I've lost my book. See, I paint it bright and cheery. We're going to cover up some of this pink. And the best part is if you don't like it for the idea you had in mind, you can always fix it, print something on top of it, or tear it up for collage. Deli paper. Thank you. You're explaining. Yeah, true. If you don't like it, you can print over it. Because the cool thing about acrylic paint is acrylic paint layers. Once it dries, and it's done. That's just where it is. Okay. Unlike watercolors that reactivate, acrylics, and that's the whole premises of this. This layer is drying. We're getting there. It's drying. I'm gonna make everybody happy right now. Yes. Yes, it's Jelly is the brand. Gelli. All right, now we're back to my first love. I circled around. I did pink. I don't want to hear it, my friends. I did it. My friends are dying right now. Payne's Gray is like my all-time favorite color to use on my jelly plate because it acts as a black, but it is not void of color. And I love it so much. Let's see what we got going on here. I know, right, Craftel? I missed most of your show because I had to have a shower because I was just like, nope, can't do this whole day without a shower. It is. Payne's Gray is like a really deep navy blue kind of. So we've got it all burnished down. It's getting cool. It's starting to wrinkle. We're going to get as much pulled up as we can. Here, so you can screenshot it. It's my favorite one. A reworker's passion. Hello, my love. How are you? You're welcome, Shiloh. Say, so we're pulling this. Dang it. I'm going to love this, aren't I? I am. My friends, what do we think of that? Oh, that is my, it is. See, this I love. This I love so much. We're going to do it again. I love it so much. Because I said we have this, where did it go? This one that we did all this on. Let's pull some plants up on that and see what happens. So we're going to go back to our Naples yellow. This is my, guys, if I had to have two colors ever, forever and ever, it would be Payne's Gray and Naples yellow. Just saying. I know my husband keeps threatening to frame them. He threatens a lot of things in a lot of humorous ways. He threatens to list my artwork on whatnot. Threatens to take over my account and list my artwork. You know, it's a whole thing. My art is my sanity, y'all. So this like legit is an inexpensive little floral spray. We're gonna take this one that I did roll-offs on and lay it down. It's pretty dry. And we are going to get in all of those creases. I'm sorry, I'm shaking you. Um, Preferably when you're doing stuff like this, you would flatten this between heavy books overnight before you go playing with it like this. I'm not one much to follow those kinds of rules, and I just kind of roll with what I'm doing. Um, if you are a rule follower and you want to smash everything flat overnight before you play with it, you go right ahead. I've been arting so long, I've found all of these ways around things because I have no patience. Okay. That's just the bottom line. I have no patience. I want it now. Dry time drives me insane. Hey Sarita, how are you, love? Can't stand dry time. So what happens is I have like 3 projects going at once. So I can bounce between projects so I don't have to worry about dry time. That's my solution to that. All right, so this isn't going to be perfect. I need that stem. It doesn't want to do what I want it to do. It's being particular. Okay, so again, we got most of it. The thrifted thread asked if you could use fabric too. I think it's possible. I've never done it. I actually did a demo on jelly printing on fabric. I think it was on this train a couple of months ago. Um, if that somebody screenshot that for me, and I like the natural flowers better too. So we're gonna get back to those here real shortly. I would be happy to do the fabric demo again if y'all are interested. Yeah. Somebody's going to have to remind me because my menopause brain is going to forget that, right? Yes, yes, it is. All right, my friends, here we go. Um, we are going to grab, yeah, Craft Out. Sarah did gel print on polymer clay. Wasn't that for one of my swaps, babe? Pretty sure it was. I think so. All right, we're going to throw some gray down. Because I like the ombre effect in my journals. Because that's just how I am. Throwing some Payne's Gray down. Get down into this gray. Get that bottom covered. Get them nice and blended. This one is going to be amazing. Grab a clean sheet of paper. Lay it down. Burnish. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the Atelier Braid Train, hosted by Daydreamer Debbie. If you are a creator and would like to demo what you do, please reach out to Daydreamer Debbie or myself. I also run a demo raid train, and Debbie and I promote each other's trains because that's just how we are. We've been doing this off and on together for 2.5 years now. So loads of fun. So reach out to one of us. Both of our trains fill very quickly, so if you don't get into one, you can probably get into the other. Yeah, that's gonna be so yummy. Yeah, I think that's my favorite one so far. Nice. You know what's gonna happen here is there's gonna be a moon right there when this is all said and done. Hi, Libs. How are you, my friend? Okay, we're gonna go back to real plants, guys. We're gonna go back to Tam World. Payne's Gray base. Oh, that's a lot of base. I'm like so excited to be able to use my Payne's Gray. I just squirted it all out. So I did grab some plants earlier from outside, and they are still very juicy. If you can hear me, I'll run back to you. They're still really juicy. So we'll see how this is going to work out. This is an amazing medicinal plant. It has been used for thousands of years. It is actually the oldest documented plant in Arizona. They have found some of them that are actually like 10,000 years old. It is amazing plant. What it does is it doesn't take its water from its roots. It takes its water from its leaves. So it knows when it's going to rain, and the leaves open up to catch all of the water that it can. Um, it's just fascinating. It seeds and it throws its seeds in a circle. So if you find the center plant, there is going to be a circle of plants around it. And then each of those throws a circle and it just builds upon itself. And I believe it's in the Joshua Tree Forest where they found one that was like thousands and thousands of years old. It's craziness. It is creosote, Creosote. Um, It is highly medicinal. It is a natural antifungal, antibacterial. It was used by indigenous peoples as an antibiotic. Um, just so many good things. It works for GI, all the things. So there's your Tam's herbal lesson for the day, my friends. And it is all poofy because, yeah, I didn't smash it flat. This is straight off the tree. All the healing herbs, my friends. So we're just going to smash it in the name of art and creativity and education. How's that? So it's going to take a little bit more work. Yes, very much so. Um, I will say, out of all of my herbal studies, I'm a clinical herbalist and a nurse. So we're going to throw that out there. So I'm not just like talking smack. But I will say, of all of the different herbal concoctions that I have had in my life, this one was the nastiest. Like, oh my God, nasty. And I love me some bitters. I grew up on a farm. I've eaten things that y'all would probably die over. This stuff, making a tea out of this, holy Mary. It was like, if you could smell what my art room smells like right now, it smells so amazing. If you've ever been in Arizona in the rain, Arizona rain smells like this plant because all the plants open up to receive the water that's coming down. Yes, I can, Deb. I can actually send you some because I have them all over my property. So there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, my friends. That's awesome. I love this one. I love this. So we're going to set this aside and we're going to use it again because I guess we're just going to finish up. Oh gosh, we've got 4 minutes. Holy moly. Guys, I get so caught up in this, I forget I'm on a raid train. Try. Come on, try. Um, I'm rating Jen. We get wiser in Tam's orbit. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. So I'm going to throw some of the green gray down real quick. And I am going to pull this. I still have the Payne's Gray on there. So it's going to blend a little bit, which I did on purpose because I like the blending of these two colors, okay? Just going to get it all spread out. We're going to take a piece of paper and pull this. We got 3 minutes. Oh, Judy, thank you. Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to pull this and then we'll go. All of these, this is from the edges because, you know, I never clean things because I'm a bad girl. I don't follow the rules. I don't know. I don't think there should be any rules in art. I think the only rule in art is that you should never compare yourself to others because everybody is on a different level of their journey. That should be the only rule in art. Oh my gosh, guys. Whimsical birdie, thank you. Come hang out with me more. You'll learn a lot. Look. Guys, that is to die for. That makes my heart happy right there. Like you can literally see the nodules where the leaves. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Cover your plate, put it back in the container. I can't get to mine because it's covered with prints right now. We're going to flip through this. We got 2 minutes. So, set it away, Tim. We did this. Gorgeous. This was our original pull with it. We did this. This was our original pull over a. We did this. This is with the lighter color. We did this. This is with the darker color. This was just a pull. This was a pull. And this is, oh my God, pink. So good. Thank you very much. Come hang out with me, bookmark my future shows. I play in the art room every Tuesday. I also run the Artisan Creative Train if you want to come demo with us. We are going, I can't use that phone, my Lord. We are going to go see Jen, maybe if it'll let me, create a raid. Seriously, right now? I bookmarked all the shows, I do all the things, and it just wants to fight with me. All right, everyone, much love. Thank you so much for hanging with me in the art room today. Please be safe and have a blessed rest of your day. Bye.